Hey, it's time for another episode of the Uncanny Spirits Club. So welcome. And we are still on our beer run that we started with the last episode. We did the Filthy McPeanut last time. And when I say it like that, we did the Filthy McPeanut, it sounds like I have a weird new kink or something. But it's not that kind of show. We'll move on from there. We'll just shuffle that aside. We'll edit that in post. Today, from the pack that I got, which was the pick six of random stuff that's just on the shelf. I have something from Southern Tier Brewing Company, which I've had before. They do a lot of different things. Some I'm a fan of, some I'm not. But they're not bad. They have a lot of things that they do. They're proudly brewed in Lakewood, New York, it says at the top. And since it's the season as of this recording, it's getting to be March. It is March. It's like the first week of March. We're almost done with the first week of March. And we're closing in on St. Patrick's Day. So, of course, you're going to get a lot of St. Patrick's Day themed beers and things coming out. That's why they had the Jameson Triple Triple on display when I bought that not too long ago. So this is Southern Tier Brewing Company's seasonal Irish Cream Stout. Now you may ask yourself, Spider, Irish cream, Well, from the looks of it, it's got flavors, but it's not actually brewed with Irish cream during the recipe. It says it's got notes of vanilla bean, coffee, and Irish cream flavor to create a dark ale as smooth as the world famous spirit. So I'm taking that as there's no actual dairy product in here, so I will be safe. Otherwise, I'll mention in my next video that I had a horrible time, and anybody who's lactose intolerant should not drink it. We'll find out together. So let's take a look real quick. It is it's got the 5.8% alcohol by volume, so modest. You could have a few of these and at a party or something and not feel too bad about it.
It has a cute little hat on it.
Good can art, definitely themed well. And I like Irish cream. I can't have the real thing anymore, but I can do. Bailey's actually makes an almond milk version.
It's really good.
Which is pretty decent. It's expensive, but it's good. And I've had Irish cream flavored coffee and things because they don't use the actual milk in there, or any milk they might have used has been, the lactose is burned out of it from the roasting and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's kind of a dead end story there. We're going to try this. We are going to try it. Smells creamy. I'm gonna pour it in. It is pretty dark. It's not as dark as a Guinness per se.
It is about as dark as one from yesterday, though.
Yeah. It does have it is very stout. Much like the cat down here who insists on being in some of my videos. Let that settle for just a minute.
Oh, it smells good.
That's not the smell of that that's making me cough. I just had dry in my throat. The weather's been up and down all over the place, so
it doesn't smell overly sweet or like that fakely, like syrupy smell.
I think it's pretty good. It says it features hearty dark malts and subtle hops, so it shouldn't be too hop heavy. I don't know if it's going to be as barley forward as the McPeanut, but if it is, that always tends to add to the flavor. So now that we've had that settled, all the foam has gone down at the top just about. So let's see what we got here. Okay, it is definitely a beer. You're not going to get convinced that it's a dessert drink or something of that nature, or a cocktail. But it does settle nicely. The stout is not as strong as the one from the last video. It's definitely has a more traditional stout taste, and it isn't sweet. You got just a tiny subtle amount of sweetness. You get the flavor of the Irish cream. It kind of comes in a little wave, like, oh, here it is. And that's kind of gone.
I get more vanilla.
There
A
is
lot
a
of
hefty vanilla taste in
Yeah.
there, but not as much as like the vanilla porters that I've featured before. It's not the
Yeah.
forefront thing, but it is in there. They did use a bit of it probably to help give it that cream kind of taste.
It's pretty good too.
There's a little bit of the coffee taste in there, not a ton. I think most of that is coming off the fact that stout kind of has a chocolatey coffee mocha kind of natural flavor to a lot of stouts anyway. But it's not particularly pronounced. Let's take another taste and see if I can refine that down a little bit. It isn't bad. It starts off real strong with the stout. Then it settles into a burst really of the Irish cream flavor that kind of takes over, which is nice. And then it settles back into the bitterness of an after you've had a stout, where you got that little bit of bitterness, the beer taste. I would have kind of preferred, even though I like stout, I would have kind of preferred if that Irish cream burst would have stayed longer and kind of been what settled back here rather than falling back into a stout. Because the flavor is here and it's really good, and then it's gone, and it's kind of like, I wish there was more.
The residual taste for me is a little hoppy, and I don't really like the hops. I don't
Yeah,
like
there's a definite traditional beer taste to it. When they say subtle hops, I don't know if it's exactly my definition of subtle. It doesn't smack you like an IPA, and it's not quite like a lager, but they're definitely in there.
Yeah, it's in the back end, so it's not overwhelming, but that's what my after taste is of the hops, but it's not awful.
Because right about here is where that ice cream is really, really good. It's really good, and then now it's settling back into beer flavor
Beer flavor.
in real time there. And I like I said, I like a good stout. I like a Guinness without any frills to it. I just like to drink it, and that's fine. But if you're gonna have that flavor in between, I wish it would stay there a little bit. Kind of like, because you just start getting used to it. Like, that's really good, and then it's just beer again, which would have been fine as it is. But that other little bit of making it a little bit more special, you kind of want more of that. You're like, oh yeah, give me some more. But it's not bad. I almost wonder how it would mix with some actual Baileys if you were doing a
No.
if you're doing I'm gonna call it the cement mixer, because I don't want to call it, it's kind of insensitive to use the other name these days.
So that would be a curdly
But
mess.
I like those if you do them quick enough.
I
And
know,
you don't,
but you
but
you
and I
have a
think this
strong
would be a
stomach.
good choice for that. I think this would work out pretty well with those if you did the little cup of Baileys. And I don't drop it in because it's messy. I don't want to make a mess. So what I usually do is I usually take a drink of the stout and then do a shot of, or it's one or the other. You do a shot of the Baileys and then drink the stout. Yeah, a shot of the Baileys and then you chug a little bit of the stout. So I could do that with this, and I think that would be really nice. So I'm going to try to add that to my list of things to try this season while the various Irish stuff is all out before it goes away. So I'm going to try to find some more of these, I think, and if I can get the almond milk Baileys and give that a try, because I think that'd be pretty good. It might actually be horrible, but I think it would be pretty good.
I'll just take the Baileys.
But overall, not bad. It is what it says it is. It's an Irish cream ale, an Irish cream stout, rather. And it's decent. It does taste stronger than the 5.8% would have you
Okay.
believe,
Hmm.
but that's kind of nice though, because sometimes you get fooled by these numbers. You start thinking, oh, 5.8, I can have a whole bunch of this and I can party just fine, whatever, when you probably shouldn't. So it's better in my opinion that it tastes stronger and you feel like it's stronger than it is, because that'll maybe compel you to be like, okay, I've had a couple, I'm going to put them down. That's just responsible in my opinion. But decent enough. Once again, this was the Southern Tier Brewing Company Irish Cream Stout. I don't think I've had anything from them that I just straight up didn't like. I had things that I didn't like as much, but they've all been pretty decent. Even their weaker offerings that I've had have been still solid. Like I would buy them again.
Didn't they make a fruit IPA you disliked though? But you disliked it because it was an IPA, not
Probably.
because it was bad.
Probably. I'm just not into IPAs, and I don't count that necessarily as a strike against the brewer, because I've seen more of their other things than I have of their IPAs. So if somebody does an IPA, they're trying to satisfy a crowd, they're trying to get another part of their customer base, because there are people who like that stuff. I don't know why, but there are.
Degenerates.
People have tried to tell me that they have flavor, and I just am dumbfounded because I have not found the flavor.
The bad flavor.
I have not found the
it.
flavor. I did find a
The
couple
bad
on my list of IPAs that didn't suck, but that didn't mean they were good. It just means they weren't horrible. But most of that list was a disaster.
Go watch that list.
So it's in its own
hilarious.
playlist on the
Yeah.
channel. I'm searching for an IPA that doesn't suck. I've got, I don't know, 8, 9 episodes of it, and that was about as far as I could get. I might toss a few more sometime over the course of this year, but that's something that I do. It's not part of my main thing because I don't want to drink a lot of IPAs.
Don't punish yourself.
So, but that's it. Like I said, Southern Tier Brewing Company Irish Cream Stout, worth a try. Is it worth a try for the price? Considering it's probably in the neighborhood of, this is probably like $13.99 for a 6-pack. I don't know. That's a lot to spend for something that's okay. But again, we talked about in the last video, talked about craft beers, and you're going to be spending a little bit more for them anyway. And for the most part, for the market to keep these guys in business, these sort of people, it's better to spend a little bit extra anyway.
And the can is pretty.
And it is a nice can if you're into collecting cans. I know a lot of people do can collections and bottle collections. I used to have a pretty extensive bottle collection, and I've trimmed it down by a lot because there's only so much space you have, and if you get things more than once, there's only so many rare bottles you can conceivably really keep around.
Oh, I wasn't thinking of collecting it. I was just thinking if you're taking it to like a gathering, it's nice and green and bright.
Sure. You always want to kind of appeal to the collectors, though, stuff like that, because people do that, especially for seasonal stuff that they might not see again. Because maybe next year's will have a different design on it. This could be a this year only thing. You don't know. Limited edition. This one's probably going to go in my recycling bin, so don't shed any tears. But if you want one, go get some. Probably, like I said, around the $13.99 at my local grocery store if you were to get a 6-pack, if I had to guess. I got it as part of the pick six of loose cans and bottles that just end up on the shelf for $12.99 for a 6-pack. And that's it. Gonna finish this and tune in for the next video where we have another great beer lined up. We've got 4 more to go, and then who knows what we'll do next. Till then, of course, cheers.